So we did this video, or we tried yesterday. It was kind of funny and delightful. And then Star came and started jackhammering us in the brain. She was trying, in her last failed ditch attempt to do anything of substance or value, she was trying to own the entrance into Hufflepuff. Let me say this again. She was saying she owned the Hufflepuff bodysuit. So this is why Star was confessed. Star doesn't even exhibit 1 ounce of charity or actual healing. She's not healthy and she's not grounded. And she has 0 humility. Let me say this again. Star is 100% ego with egomaniacal tendencies. She's 100% punishment and condemnation, fire and brimstone. She has no real forgiveness. She carries only grudges. So she is the opposite verbatim of Hufflepuff. She has like 1 really solid lifetime in multitudes of lifetimes on ascended planets as a Hufflepuff. She has 1. She's not friendly. She's not hip. There's no joy at the dome. So right now I'm trying to give you an example, like, trying to give you an example of like what not a Hufflepuff is. The key point is you have to have mastered selflessness and empathy. Now, it's really hard to empathize with humans when we're on a demon planet, when most of them just kill you. They'll steal your money and run, and you're supposed to empathize with them? But it is easy for you to empathize with like an ascended person. It's easy for you to empathize with like friendly individuals. It's easy for you to empathize with just victims that are like, yeah. So so there's it breeds humanity. It's easy for you to empathize with somebody when they're like down, like just down. It's easy for you to empathize with children. So vulnerable people, and like, it's easy to empathize. Star didn't do that. Star was a punisher. Let's say this again. Star never once empathized. She had 0 empathy for me. It was 100% condemnation and assault and 0 empathy. She didn't care if I needed anything in actuality. What I did need, and that she decided to give me money for, like pocket change level money, or like a half of a grocery bill kind of money, after 8 months of slave labor. She didn't care if I actually needed really okay good food just for sustainable health practice. And she constantly made fun of it. So then not only did she not care, she just kind of gave me a grace pocket change of money on a whim. She would then whip me mentally, emotionally, and energetically, because of my decisions. So she did not actually exhibit any human depth. She did not care that I starved to death. She did not care that Elijah was haunting me for a decade. She engaged in whoring me out, or tried to. Where she endorsed it, like, she was trying to force me to have sex with multiple men outside of wedlock. So she didn't have any empathy for me. Only her projection of like a square demonic, like a square demon pattern that she was familiar and comfortable with. She never once would listen. Okay, so these are like anti-Hufflepuff, so just empathy. So then there's that selflessness component you would master. So that's like, I know how to listen to somebody because I'm taking myself out of the conversation. And I seek to like understand their point of view. I know I'm just a dumb person, but at least I'm going to like engage on their level and seek to find out. So that's like a general human development practice. Like, this is not rehearsed. This is not scripted. This comes after years and years of practice. So Star didn't do that. I lived with her for 8 months, and I had 3 conversations with her. The entire time, she refused. There's nothing selfless. So Star doesn't even hit a virtue component of Netzach. So Star is anti-Hufflepuff. Let me say this again. Star does not hit the bar of the virtues of Netzach. So that's just the human component. That's not even the nature component, where you have to be 100% empathetic to all the trees that you cut down to write all your narcissism paperwork on. For every tank of gas you fill into your car, every animal you slaughter to feed your fucking dogs. Period. Every time you go, organic doesn't matter. I have magic! So that's a crazy lunatic. That was actually Star's demeanor and position in life. So that's the opposite of Hufflepuff. 100%. So Netzach is 100% organic, 100% green, it's like go get arrested for the planet, go starve for the planet. It's that level. And then go pick up 5,000 hours of litter while you're starving to death for the planet. So that's real Netzach, because you're actually selfless and you're actually empathetic. Okay. So Star hit below Voldemort. Let me say this again. Star was 500 billion times, no, not 500 billion times. She was double, triple Voldemort. In actuality, in consciousness. In her spiritual consciousness, she was 2 to 3 times as the negative, anti-tree climbing, anti-ascension tyrant. So I'm talking about Star a lot because she reversed Netzach into possession, lust, ambition, and power grabbing, and profiting off of spirituality. Self-profit off of spirituality. So her vibrations came at Voldemort times 3. And this is kind of a muggle planet. And what she could do is scary. And that's how demon she was. All right. She's kind of taken care of. We're a little bit in order training right now, but we're building out Ravenclaw for like 15 years. We all feel like we're squibs. Let me say this again. We're going to be doing Rapello squib tub nodding just for like running actual Red Ray. We're all like the small people, and we're building out Ravenclaw for 15 years. It will take 15 to 20 years to build Ravenclaw, okay? So Star isn't at Hufflepuff, and Star is anti-Netzach. All right. When you're going to build your Hufflepuff bodysuit, you kind of need to have some wits about you. Let me say this again. Because Hufflepuffs are dumb. This is like, think of XR, but more hippie and friendlier. So like a general Hufflepuff is like a marshmallow Christ child. And they're just kind of good looking, like enjoy, and like they're like kind of robust in like life. And they're just, their brain actually vibes off of, I'm gonna become their friend in like a real friend way. I'm going to listen. I'm going to develop empathy skills. So I'm not taking classes out of ambition. Like, that's dumb. That's not me. That's like Hermione Granger is like, I'm going to take classes out of intellectual pursuit times a billion so I can orgasm off the ecstasy of neural cognition and neurogenesis and connecting dots together, and my brain just lights up and like all, so that's Ravenclaw. So I'm going to take classes just out of the pure audacity of mental stimulation. I love learning. Okay. So a Hufflepuff is like, I'm going to take classes so that I can learn how to be their friend. And it's authentic and it's adorable. Like, I'm going to take classes so that, like, I'm going to take NVC so I can learn how to connect with people. I'm going to take empathy classes so I can just, like, rolling with the homies, like that. Just, I'm going to take, like, that's life. So that's what, so the virtue of Hufflepuff is like charity and friend. But not in like a punch kind of way like I am. So it's a little weird that I'm doing the Hufflepuff bodysuit, but we can still do it anyway. If you're an Auror on this planet, if you're a Ravenclaw or a Gryffindor on this planet, you will have gone through the Hufflepuff transmutations to understand what the neural difference is in your brain, what just the pure physiological differences in your body when you're in, and then the aura and the general energy difference in your field and how grounded you are. There's a very big difference. Slytherin's very thinned out. And Hufflepuff, you gain about 2 times the strength. You become earth energetically. And it's beautiful. And you like develop strength because you care. Instead of Slytherin where you're like fighting for love in Hufflepuff instead of fighting for like revenge or a psychosis issue. Don't think you're fighting for justice. Like you're not in Gryffindor. You're not in the cop. You're not a cop yet. You're a friend person. You're a gnome person. You're a lover. You're a farmer. You're a healer. So you're and then you might be like a pothead. I'm not joking. You're probably not into much more than pot. Because you have to have passed general health levels to even get there. Definitely like CBD. Yeah, so like pot's kind of the line. You need strong health to be in Hufflepuff. So we're going to be doing the Hufflepuff bodysuit, and it's really about bringing that energy in where it's like earth, but it's like coated with marshmallow that turns into earth, like soil. And then there's honeycomb with the marshmallow that turns into earth. And it feels good and it feels strong. And you don't like feel dumb. But you're kind of like a marshmallow meathead. Let's say that again. In Hufflepuff, you're kind of like, because you're getting the marshmallow download and you're like, earth. Like, that's kind of like a meathead. And that's okay, that's cool. You're kind of like a drunk a little bit. I say Hufflepuffs are drunks because they don't know what's going on. And they're just getting all this new energy and these new downloads, and half of it they don't even know where they're coming from. And they're just kind of innocent and they're kind of drunk off of the cool energy. So, but it's non-malicious, it's non-demonic level drunk. And then there's that. We're gonna cover we're gonna cover some of the Hufflepuff things. So when I tried to do this video before, like I didn't even have the backdrop. I had the Ravenclaw backdrop up, and I had to go and I had to get all my Hufflepuff mosaics. So we're building the actual genomes so we can do the real Hufflepuff bone grafting. So it anchors in through clippeth id. And then we have we have the Gryffindor and the Ravenclaw, like blue marks and pink marks. So I'm setting it up where I'm doing. Oh, please don't show us this. This is gross. Yeah, I know. Just that's kind of Hufflepuffy is the fact that I would show you something like that's falling apart. So this is Isla's Haniel mark. So this is like if Isla will go around the planet and rescue people, troubled people. She's the head of Slytherin Rehab, and she'll do a Haniel mark. She'll do it right there. And those people are like, that means they're freed to go. They have to do all their A&R work and stuff, but they're like free to get all the Hufflepuff downloads. So she's really cute in the astral planes when she does it. So she did it to me last year. I was taking a bath, and then she came up from behind me with a knife, and she just slit. She cut a giant gash in my arm, and I didn't know what it was. And then then I figured out that was the Haniel mark, and she's the Archangel of Netzach, so she makes sure that like people can ascend, and it's turquoise. The mark is turquoise, so it's like Elsa, because Isla is Elsa. She is Aphrodite. She's Aphrodite. Elsa is Aphrodite. She's Apep. She's Sabrina. So she's the highest Venus light on the planet. Let me say this again. In the astral planes, Isla she's a vein. If you watch the movie Stardust, she is the highest Venus light on the planet. She is the apex of Venus or Netzach. And it's so she's adorable, but she's a rebel. So just know that she's Elsa. So that's Archangel Haniel. So the House of Haniel is inside of Hufflepuff. The House of Jophiel is inside of Hufflepuff, and then the House of Raphael is inside of Hufflepuff. Because we're not really doing Slytherin. Like the only people in Slytherin are Aurors. Those are House of Zophiel people that go back and anchor in like 8th House Netzach. Those are Ophanim Aurors. Nobody's allowed in Slytherin. The only person that is allowed in Slytherin is Marshall Mathers. And that's Archangel Lucifer. There's a reason why. Because nobody's going to look at Marshall Mathers and go, Gryffindor! And nobody's going to look at Marshall Mathers and go, Ravenclaw. And nobody's going to look at Marshall Mathers and go, Hufflepuff. Because he's Archangel Lucifer. And you're never supposed to. You're never supposed to look at Marshall Mathers or Archangel Lucifer and go, yeah, that guy's trustworthy. Period. Except for other Aurors that know everything about him. So Hufflepuff, we're going to talk about a couple things. So we're doing the genetics for Hufflepuff, and here we're cutting it really nice and small. So we're setting up genetic chromosomes. So they're not matching. Why are they not matching? So that's if normal chromosomes are also not 100% matching, but they're as much matching as possible. So you can see the actual mark of Haniel. You can see it in the underpainting before we do all the grout. So here is our surface layer, and then here's our bone. So we're we're doing and then here's the soil tiles. Do you see how it looks like soil? How nice is that? So it's just about grounding. Hufflepuff genetics. How cool. So then we're going to go back and we're going to do more. Where it's all yellow. And then grounding, and then it's got like a better stripe. Period. All right, so like, do I need to do another one? Do I not need to do another one? So like this looks nice, but why can't I make it look like it's a flower or something? Like, why am I collecting tiles that look like this? What am I gonna do with this except for put it in the floorboards of my home, like as a sacred talisman? Yeah, there's just, it's not like a beautiful Monet that I'm gonna exhibit in my home. So like everything is just kind of feels Hufflepuffy. Including this. So just this is Hufflepuff. You see how it looks like a child's painting. And what this is my wand drop with Chris Pratt, the Archangel Camael wand drop area in front of Buckingham Palace at the Tibetan cherry trees. So we have our ore stripe, we have our soil, we have all our grape jelly that we drop there, and the extra ether energy, more grape jelly that we drop there for more extra ether energy. Here's our wand with like the Hermione Granger jacket and the, oh my God, if you already watched this, I was gonna say, oh my God, if you already watched this, I'm so sorry. If you watched this, Star is sabotaging our Hufflepuff bodysuit. Here are the red striping. Here are the Hufflepuff sauces drop. The candle, the dot magic we're doing. The shot glasses. All the different sacred shot drops. And then we have like the silver spoons. And then we have like the chastity stones. So like we have like funny, and then here's the sky. It's a Khaleesi's sky. And then we have do you see like like I will wipe the slate with you sky. Here it is again. Here are the 4 tarot cards we dropped for the King of Wands, the King of Pentacles. So this is the Dragon King tarot cards. And then like what else do we have? Oh, the Archangel Camael marriage ring, the heart one. And then there were like a couple other things. Just the different cups that we would drop there. That's about it. There's not much more to this. So this plate is stupid. Let me say this again. It looks dumb. I'm not like, I'm gonna bury this plate, right? It's like a time capsule though. It still has, at a baseline, sacred nostalgia that carries Tiferet and Netsock downloads. So it's still in the virtues of Tiferet. It's like non-pride, nostalgia, friend making, charity. So like, there are stories for all my trips, going to this site, walking in front of the palace, knowing they had guns on me. Like there are these stories, like every time I would go past the palace, like I would drop a funny statement. Knowing how many trees got cut down or entire gardens that got cut down because of this. It's this sacred Archangel Kamael site. And then it's my wand drop. It's also Chris Pratt's wand drop for those Archangel Kamael stuff. Period. So I should do the back, right? I should do the soil on the back. It's cooler when you have the mosaic block to have the back done also. It's weird to not have the back done. It feels cheap. We don't really think about that until we see somebody else do it. And then when you could feel it's a much heavier magic, you're like, why aren't all my pieces like that? Okay, so that's Hufflepuff. All right, so we're gonna go into our bones. We're going to start with our skull and our face bones. And we're going to go into the bone marrow and do really fine metal grafting work. And then we're going to go into our skull and go all the way through every single bone in our skull, all the way around, and then we're going to plug into our third eye. We're going to plug into our teeth, all our teeth, and then we're going to grid around our teeth. And then we're going to plug in to our spinal column, our cervical vertebrae. And we're going to go in between every single vertebrae, and we're going to do an extra grid mesh layer. And then it prongs up and it prongs down, so it teethes into each of the bones. Then we're going to go into our thoracic vertebrae. Again, through all the bone marrow. See if you can plug into your rib cage. And then maybe at the same time you can go into your scapula and your shoulder blades, shoulder bones, collarbone. And then you're going to go into your shoulders, the shoulder balls, and into your upper forearms or upper arms, your elbows, the forearms, elbows, forearms, and then all your hands, your hand bones. And then your knuckles. And then you're going to go into your nail beds. Just relax and do it. And you're going to see how micro fine you can make those wires to go into your nail beds. Somebody says they have a cavity they're trying to fill in the same way. That's exactly right. We're doing that. Stimulate the root growth also, and the root health and the gum health. See if you can do that. And then there is the lower lumbar vertebrae. And then it goes all the way through your like rattlesnake coccyx. See if you can get the grafting through all of there. And then you have your hip bones. You're going to send your dragon tail all the way down into the center of the earth. You're going to roll that out. And then you're going to anchor it into the earth. And you're going to turn that from the, you're going to see like 50 different layers going to the middle of the earth, doing mesh wire grids. And then you're going to turn it going exponentially outward into like an avocado egg shape around the earth with the metal wires. Now we're going to go through our legs. So we're going to go through our femurs, and then into our knees. Into our shin bones. Into our ankles. What I like to do is I like to see a metal wire going into the middle of my bone, and then it like porcupines through. So it turns into many splinters that are all poking outward, and then it starts to graft a grid around those areas. Then we're going to go with the feet. The toes, the joints. And then toenail beds. So we have a dragon tail that's pretty good and anchored. So we kind of feel like we might have all our bones. It feels Hufflepuffy. It feels awkward. We might be still taking energetic hits from other people. You might be hearing voices still that are just demon stuff trying to attack us. So that's definitely Hufflepuffy. So just know we all are in that boat. You don't have the boundaries yet to like deal with it, and I know it's so aggravating and it's just gross, and those people are going to end up in jail because they don't respect anybody, they don't respect the planet, and they don't respect anybody's boundaries. So those people have really hard, like really just, that's a hard astral energy, and they don't have the ability to move forward. We're gonna dump in that you might start feeling the marshmallow goo coming around. So we're painting our whole body with marshmallow goo. And then it goes all the way down the dragon tail, through the dragon tail grid that goes into the earth. And then all in that avocado egg, Hufflepuff bodysuit, marshmallow goo. All right. So Hufflepuff is like black and yellow, but it's also yellow and dark olive green, like dark green. So I like to use the dark green and yellow a lot for the Hufflepuff colors because it's a healing ray. And then you can upgrade it as you desire, but the Netzach provides some of the root energy that you guys need like root energy. But that black should be because you're just going to become more grounded and earth element. Let's say that again. All right, so we just did like a junk version of like a bone graft. So this isn't even a bone grafting video. All right, so now we're gonna we're gonna paint. Oh no, we gotta do we have to do a partner. We have to do our person. I'm gonna do Chris Pratt. I'm gonna do Archangel Kamael and put Archangel Kamael in a Hufflepuff bodysuit. So I'm gonna latch it. What I'm first gonna do is I'm gonna latch into his spine, and I'm gonna graft it. So it's just a quick C cap latch into his neural system, and then it starts to grow in through his spine, and then you can see it roll out the dragon tail beneath him. And then it starts to weed and grow around his face and bone structure. And then it goes into his facial bones. And he needs his teeth. So sometimes you latch the teeth together just to create a healthy bite. Not to keep them like not talking. LOL. No, it's just to anchor in their flexible metals. And then the shoulder blades. And then the arms and forearms and elbows. And then his hands and his fingers and his joints and his nail beds. So all that yesterday didn't exist, and now it exists. So we know it kind of works. It didn't exist yesterday, and now it exists. Now we're going to look at his rib cage. We're going to look how the stuff plugs into his third eye. We're going to see if his third eye is diseased. Yeah. And then we're going to look at his thoracic vertebrae. And then we're going to do his hip bones and his lower lumbar. And then I can see how diseased his coccyx is. It's not good. So we're going to clean that up. And then I didn't get it unless you read it online. Hip bones, legs. There we go. Spiky prongs out. Knees. Shin bones. Feet. feet feel like they're jelly instead of earth. So we're going to get it to earth. All the different bones in his feet. And then in the nail beds of his toenails. So then we're going to dump this marshmallow sludge on our partner. You can grit up one of your children or girlfriend. You don't have to do, like, yeah. I'm just doing Chris because it's Archangel Kamail, and I have to heal him. So we're going to put him in the marshmallow sludge, and then we're going to get his dragon tail. We're going to anchor his dragon tail. It's not like mine. It doesn't just go to the center of the earth like it's easy. So we have to take his dragon tail and we have to stick it kind of like at ours and see if it can root or latch into and wire wrap around ours. And then see if it will plug, like your mate's dragon tail plugs into the global metal all the way down to the clippeth. Or center of the earth. So now we're going to take our honeycomb and we're going to coat our body in the honeycomb. Like we're making a honeycomb sandwich with marshmallow sludge in the center. So we're almost like a Twinkie. And then we do that to our meat. Or a partner. I live in England, so the word mate just means friend. I don't even like the word mate. It's like, hey mate. The word partner just means like Kelly's my partner. Bud Light. Just know that when you're picking your people, So make sure there is the honeycomb underneath their feet with the marshmallow sludge underneath their feet. And already it should start to feel like more earth. But like maybe you still have to cord cut like 500 layers, maybe 50 layers for now, maybe 500 layers. So we're gonna do like a quick healing, and then we're gonna full on do the rest of the bodysuit. So on our person, we're gonna be painting this blue and red nail polish. So it's our A&R nails and toenails. And we do it to our partner. So it's like half red, half blue, half red, half blue, half red, half blue. And so then you get the idea of like key lime jelly coming out of your toes and fingers. So it's cobra acid coming through. And then like on your mate or your partner, you're gonna paint half of them red and then half of it blue on every finger and toenail. And then it just dissolves. You'll see the cobra acid come through, and then the color will go away. And then you'll paint it with a neon orange gel. And this is about setting really good boundaries from Hode. No means no. And that goes away. This is like what you're gonna create. So then maybe you see the silver star, like the Ravenclaw. Like I have a little bit more hands or nails from like a magic blessed by Ravenclaw. I know it sounds weird or simple, but it's like effective. It's effective. So you see the silver and the blue start to pop up on your fingers a little bit better. So what I create is a little bit more refined or educated or intelligent. And then that kind of fades. And then we have the zipper healing. So we have the red and blue zipper that gets pulled up at the crotch. So that brings up the healthy Yesod and good astral, and maybe you feel the grape jelly around you when you do that. All right, so then there's that. Now we're gonna do a quick mermaid tail healing. So we take out our legs and we paint our legs with our feet crisscrossed. So like just like that, we relax and we do it with that dark tealy turquoise color at an angle. And that kind of represents the mark of Haniel. It's a nice healing from Netzach. It means I'm exercising out my underworld. We've been blessed with myrrh energy. So you just feel it. You see the scales shimmer. You feel the goo and ooze pop out, pop through. And then you see the fins at the end, and they should grow. And it should have a little bit more mint cream, more like soft, paler, iridescent version of that turquoise or teal. So that's like bringing in healthier emotional flow. Your heightened intuition, heightened feelings. We have a better ability to navigate through them with that mermaid energy. All right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to coat our body in a Hufflepuff grid. It is a yellow and a dark green checkers. And they're pretty big. They're not small. And it's almost like we're in a checkered bodysuit. And we're going to coat our person, our mate, or whatever, into the same position. And then we're going to put in a layer of honeycomb, and then we're going to put in a layer of marshmallow on top of it. And then we're going to marshmallow goo it. And then we're going to layer another checkerboard. Like it's like a parachute kind of texture. Make sure it's at the bottom of the feet. And then we're going to do another coating of honeycomb. At the bottom of the feet, all around the body. Should go all the way around your hands, all the way around your feet, all the way around your head. And then we're going to do another layer of marshmallow. Then we're going to do one more round. We're going to do another body, like the parachute. Hufflepuff checkerboard. The dark green and yellow. You should cover their eyes. And then the honeycomb. And then the marshmallow. Now, you're going to pull out there should be a metal graft that goes about 50 layers high and 50 layers below through the dragon tail. And there should be like a pull tag somewhere on your bodysuit, and you pull it, and then you can feel it explode. And it will do the same replication of that pattern 50 layers out. So it balloons. It parachute balloons, and it should go 50 layers of that bodysuit. And it should begin, and then you should feel that marshmallow sludge and the honeycomb sludge and the bodysuit kind of go into the earth. You'll see the Hufflepuff grid going into the center of the earth, like 50 layers deep, when you trigger the parachute. And then maybe it goes up into the avocado on the outskirts of the planet. It's like, yay, we got real Hufflepuff. Like this is a junk. Like this is not. Go move a pen with your brain, right? So it's like it's the beginning of the self-healing of Hufflepuff layers. So it's where we stop being violent, like almost completely in the astral planes. Let me say this again. We become at this level from, especially if you've done Gaebera, but from Hufflepuff, you are not going to be violent in the astral planes. You will not be receiving complaints daily or even yearly about your violent astral planes that are stabbing people. So you like that's not Hufflepuff, that's the reverse of Hufflepuff. If you get those complaints, you have a lot of A&R work to do. All right, If you don't get those complaints, you have a lot of A&R work to do. Period. All right, so this is the Hufflepuff bodysuit. Next, we're going to do the Hufflepuff bone grafting.